welcome to the North American Leadership Conference. I'm sitting on my couch with a steaming hot cup of coffee that my awesome daughter Alyssa just brought me, so I am spoiled. Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm usually a little closer to my laptop, so I don't know if it sounds like I'm yelling at you or yes, so good. Awesome. Nice little group we got here today. Man, the world is packed, crowded. I did something I haven't done in 2 years. I jumped on the speedboat and did a few laps around the EXP island and went up to the pirate boat, jumped on another boat, left my boat there. It's kind of fun, actually. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much last time, but I got more time on my hands this time. So we got special speakers today. Don and Alison, Gaddy, Don Hobbs. So when they're here, come on up. I don't know if they're logged in yet, but they'll be here shortly. Also, as you know, this Saturday we have our leadership update in the world at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we have Gene and Scott and myself and Rob Flick, special guest. Dave Knord, our president. That's cool. Don Hobbs is in the house. Don, come on over here, man. Welcome. And thank you for being here. Are you there, buddy?
Can you hear me?
You gotta unmute your mic.
Yep. You got me now?
Mm-hmm.
You got me now?
Did we get Alison too, or are we?
Yeah,
she's
signing in. We were just signing in. So she's coming.
Good. So
she
Alison's coming too.
My better half. We got to have her on, otherwise there's no conversation here.
Let me turn up my volume because I'm not hearing you. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, try that now, Don.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Oh, way better. Yeah, I have my volume down. It was on my end.
Hey, Alison, on stage.
Hey.
Hey, I like the cowgirl hat. Have you always wore that?
Woohoo! I have.
Right on. I should pay closer attention to how you're dressed. You guys got the blue going on. You're looking good.
I know. I realize
that.
We got the matchy thing going on.
Right on. So for those people in the audience that don't know you guys, Alison, we'll start with you. Tell us your background in real estate, like a 1-minute overview of Alison Gaddy. How long have you been in EXP, and how big your group is now?
1-minute overview. So I've been in real estate, I think almost 16 years now, over 15. I started up in Chicago, was a boutique broker and worked in California, and then moved back to Austin, Texas a little over 10 years ago. I was with KW. And my story is a lot like Brent's. I was not looking to move. If you asked me if I was going to make a move, I would have said, "Are you crazy? Why would I do something like that?" And I got a call from Gene Frederick's daughter, Nicole Russo, about 3 months after they joined. So they were 450 or something agent, and I was agent 641. I'm about to celebrate 5 years with EXP in July.
Oh, time out. Agent 641 with EXP.
Yep.
That is cool, man. It's like 007. Okay, keep going. I like the story.
Exactly. And the guy who told me I was super crazy, Don Hobbs, I'll let him introduce himself, but he was my friend, not my life partner and business partner at the time. And of course, he said, "You're going to EXP what?" And I reminded him that it was my business and I could take it wherever I wanted. That's where he taught me.
Did you hear that, Dawn?
Yeah. She was strong. She knew it. She got it right away. And you know what? The great part was she got that, Brent, because she did say to me, and this is something everybody needs to consider when you're talking to people is, I'm leaving my brand and I'm so hooked into the brand. The brand means dog poop. The brand doesn't mean anything at all. It's your brand. And Alison had to remind me that I had told her that, which is, it doesn't matter. And by the way, if she'd hated it, or Brent, if you'd hated it, you could have gone back to Keller Williams, right? You could have gone back anyway.
Absolutely.
So,
in fact, when Alison is done telling her story, I want you to talk about your background, because yours is all about branding the agent. We'll let everyone tell you that story. But Alison, go ahead and wrap up, then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. It's all she wrote. I mean, Don and I joined forces here a couple years ago after we joined in a relationship. I will say that we lived together for a while, and Don we were like the red and the blue living in the same household, like James Carville and his wife, the Democrat and the Republican, because he was Gary Keller's partner at KW, and I was, EXP, and Don can take it from there.
Wow. Okay, Dawn, tell us your background. How long you been in real estate? What's your background with real estate? A lot of people know you, and there's some newbies who don't.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people that don't, for sure. I came into the industry when I was 18 years old, and I went actually not into real estate. I was in the training space. Getting a lot of feedback. What's going on with that?
Oh, let me mute. My bad. Let me mute.
Yeah, anyway, I came into the training space. I was with Jim Rohn, if anybody knows that name, and if you don't, you might know Tony Robbins, because I was 18 and Tony and I worked there when he was 17 and I was 18. We built that company for a while together, and then he split off to do something, whatever insignificant as he does, and I'm joking, of course. And I started a company called Hobbs Advertising, and if people know me at all, that's probably where they know me, because we built kind of a game-changing training and marketing company, and everything was around agent success. It was really about how do we build the agent marketing campaign, how do we build the agent brand, how do we make the agent stand out. People were joining companies like Century 21 and wearing the gold coat and saying, well, that's my brand. It's like, no, it's not your brand. It's Alison and I were just talking about it. It's your brand. It's your personal brand. And so I did that, retired after 23 years, and then ran my own real estate company, was one of 3 partners in a business. And we own 9 states for a franchise organization. And then Gary Keller came along. I'd been the first speaker for Keller Williams back in 1990 or 89 for his first convention ever, when he had 350 agents. And Gary called and said, hey, let's do some business together. So I helped him build a company. And that's where I was when, Alison gave me the call and said she was leaving. And of course, then 150 first dates, I was dating her, but she wasn't dating me. And we finally got together, put our lives together. And as she said, I'm living as Gary Keller's partner in the same household with somebody who was the arch enemy. We're right here at kind of ground central where Gene Frederick had just left Keller Williams to become the explosion of EXP, and she was not popular at all. So we were having a lot of fun with that. And about 2 years ago, I left the company, and we kind of got in earnest, really building, our organization, if you will. I've always been a fan of the people and the booster of the agent, and that's what I believe is the most important thing in our world. And so
that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, if everyone can mute your mic, it's the lower left-hand corner. If it is green, your mic is hot. If you could kindly make sure that mic is red, it'll help with less feedback. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. So, Dawn, how many agents have you and Alison sponsored now?
I didn't check the numbers this weekend, but we were like at 520, what, babe? 526, 520, something or other?
All I know is last month we had 39 agents join, and we're somewhere between 525 and 550. It's starting to cruise now. So.
Wow. So if you keep up that pace, you'll be over 1,000 this year, no problem.
Absolutely. That's our intention.
Pretty exciting. That is pretty exciting. Not bad for your third year working together as a team. That's amazing. And you sponsored.
We say our start date, Brent, was August of 2018. So we're about a year and a half in. Yeah.
Wow. And how many have you sponsored now? How many on your front line? 40? You at 40 yet?
We've totally sponsored. We've sponsored 40. We have 26 active. We've sponsored 40 since we've been here. Totally.
Nice. So you got 26 selling homes every throughout the year.
Yep.
That's great. I sponsored my dad and my wife and my daughter and people like that too. And they just want to be with you, but they're not necessarily selling. So I get it. Well, hey, this is exciting. Let's get into it. We spent enough background. Let's dive into this. My topic today is not surviving in the current climate, but thriving. How do we thrive? How do we be productive? How do we do something more than watch binge watch Netflix and Amazon? I know my family, we're going to watch a movie tonight. We're all looking forward to that and pop some popcorn and do that. But you don't want to do that all day. You don't want to do that all day. So what are you and Alison doing to thrive in the current climate? What are some things you and Alison do that people in the audience could copy and emulate?
Well, I think I was going to say I probably would leave some of this and say, Alison, why don't you talk about some of the agent attraction stuff and some of the structural things we're doing, and I can hit maybe some of the agent things, and we can kind of feed off of each other in both categories.
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity. I was talking to some leaders that we have in Dallas. We've got some people in West Texas. It's such an opportunity. We don't all. I mean, it's wonderful to do local lunch and learns. Someone says can't hear them talking. You guys can hear me, right? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Perfect. So the opportunity to really put all the leaders together to learn from each other. I love hearing other people present EXP. It gives me new ideas. It's breeds, builds culture. Put your heads together. We've taken, we do weekly, now we do weekly lunch and Zooms, and we've got, all of Texas and all around really presenting with us. So we also have a happy hour. We've got a really big agent looking at joining us, moving over from KW on Friday. And we just exchanged messages and said, let's do a happy hour on Zoom. And we said, of course, we'll bring the wine and you bring the Zoom. But I mean, we're still meeting, and that connectedness can be even more because people need it. People need that.
Let me stop you right there. So a lot of times we'll meet an important client or an agent or a broker for happy hour to have a nice glass of wine or a cold beer or something, or whatever your favorite hot green tea is. Mm-hmm. So you could still do a happy hour, but you do it over Zoom. And so you send the Zoom links, everyone gets their favorite, maybe a cold Diet Coke with a slice of lime or whatever your deal is, and you can have happy hour. So it's not like you have to stop doing these things. So it's very creative of you guys. I want to commend you. I hadn't heard of happy hours happening, just Zoom an hour or something. A Zoom happy hour. There we go.
Exactly.
That's all it is. I think it's just a happy hour. Just the difference is we're keeping our social distancing by staying at our homes. And we had talked about this actually 2 years ago. I remember saying all we need now is a virtual bar in the cloud in our campus, and we could all wander in there and have a happy hour. But it's no different. It's really, we're just communicating and connecting with people, and that's what we really need to stay doing right now. Nothing needs to change except whatever's going on in your brains, which is probably the biggest thing we should talk about today, right? Everything can remain the same. It's just a different format. It's just a slightly different approach.
Right. Like if I said, I will give you 100,000 cash if you sponsor 10 people in the next 30 days, $100,000.
Thank you, sir.
Sponsor 10 agents. A lot of you would go sponsor 10 agents. But because I'm not going to give you $100,000, you won't go sponsor the 10 agents. So what's up with that? Because sponsoring 10 agents can be worth so much more. I'll give you an example. I sponsored Rick Jiha. He has over 1,000 agents, and I earn about $750,000 a year from that, and I get that every year. So over the next 10 years, that'll be $7 to $10 million. $100,000 would have been a poor return and that was just one. And then Jeff Willems has 2,000 agents. That makes me like 1.5 million a year. And Cliff Freeman over 3,000 agents. And Frank Crandall 400 or 500. Chris Okamura 400 or 500. Marguerite Crispello, hundreds and hundreds of agents. And so I think it gets down to the F word, and I don't normally say the F word on stage, but I'm going to do it. Faith. It's all about faith.
I was like, what?
I was getting nervous.
I was getting nervous.
I totally was. I knew Brent would never say that. But so Brent, it's a great point. It's either fear or faith, right? It's like faith at the high end, fear at the low end. And where are we going to keep our energy right now?
Right.
Well, I will say that, and I will because it was Tony Robbins, Brent. I know you'll forgive me, but he said, fear is for most people is F everything and run. And we don't want to do that. If it's not obvious, he did say that. If it's not obvious that we need residual income now more than ever, I mean, I think this is a wake-up call to how important it is. If you don't have it and haven't started it, you know, the culture of our company and keeping things together and showing up and connecting with people and showing them you care is the biggest opportunity to say, hey, let me help you. Come to this company. Let's do a Zoom. Come into our leadership meeting. We're still having them. I know your company isn't because most aren't allowed, but the opportunity now to do that is like it's never, ever been. So I say we go faster. There's the other F word, faster.
Faster, faith. You know, but that's funny that you say Tony Robbins, F everything and run. I never realized it was an acronym for fear.
Isn't that fun? Uh-huh.
I hadn't heard that. And I did steal the F word from Tony this morning. He talked about it. Tony wrote that wonderful article today on, you know, how to respond mentally and emotionally. And I did borrow that from Tony, should I say. But
yeah, really beautiful.
So you guys are doing happy hours, Zoom happy hours, and then you're also doing lunch and learns via Zoom. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly right. We've got our lunch and learns every Friday. We've got a lunch and learn every Wednesday, and so everything's just Zoom. It feels interesting. We don't have to miss that connectivity because of Zoom. And by the way, I think the stock tip of buy Zoom is buy EXP and buy Zoom is definitely true.
Yeah. Everybody, all the other brokerages are frantically buying Zoom right now. 2 million agents. They're going, okay, how do we use this tool? For us, we totally have been living in this tool for years and living virtually for a decade. So thank God we are the safe haven. I love that. Don't you guys love that? That EXP is the safe haven. People's brokerages are going to shut down. Where are they going to go? We're here. We're not struggling to pay the lease or the power bill, right?
No, let's talk about the opportunity to bring people in on Mondays and Wednesdays to the auditorium, and then you don't have to get them a guest pass and come in and listen to our leaders do EXP Explained.
Talk about that.
So I'll have to pull up the calendar, but yeah, I mean we've got EXP Explained. If you go into have them go to, I think it's download.exprealty.com, and they can sign in without a guest pass. It pops them straight into the EXP Explained auditorium, and it pops them out. They just can't roam around the EXP world without a guest pass. So I mean, this is the time to say, hey, listen, this is where we're having our shareholders meeting. This is how we're still doing business. I still have classes. I have education. I have a whole real estate company with departments of people to help me with the closings I'm having. It's awesome.
Nice.
So I think we have such an opportunity, Brent. I think we have such an opportunity to show off right now. And I don't mean show off like rub it in their faces. I mean, to bring people into our world, which is so organized, so structured, and so extremely powerful. We were already doing all these things, right? We were already doing this. This isn't like we need to get good at it. This is the way we've been living, and this is the way we do business. And so for me, it's like we have a chance to bring people into trainings. We have people to have a chance to bring people into, as Alison was talking about, the lunch and learns that are being done by this corporate staff, which I love. I mean, they've got, you know, I don't know who, Chris Bayer or, you know, Sam Rodriguez. I mean, these guys are awesome at what they do. I mean, I even heard Glenn and Jason dropped in on some of those. So it's like, you know, we've got big people talking about this company, and we get a chance to do that every single week. And your job, your only role really at this point is to keep the connection to people because they need help right now. They need mental help. They're scared. They're in, you know, this is one of my messages that I've been putting out a lot, is that, you know, the agents are really scared about what to do now, and we've got to come along and be the settling factor, if you will. We're the ones that come along and say, hey guys, we got this. We can do this. But some of these people are in uncharted territory. You know, they didn't go through 2008 through 2010. They've never been in this kind of a. They don't even know what the market is right now. That's the thing. It's like we're making it up in our heads as to what the market is. I just talked to a gal that took 6 listings this week. So, you know, it's like, I don't know that the market's going to be affected, but what I do know is people are being affected, right? They're being affected. And as long as that's true, we need to be the settling force and bring people into our world and let them know that we've got the solution for them.
Very good. So what are some things that you're hearing that agents are doing to sell real estate during this time? I've heard some things that I'm happy to share, but I'd like to hear from the two of you. Have you heard of any creative ideas that agents are doing to actually write offers or to list properties in the current market virtually? Anything you guys have heard?
Well, I know that if you can go out, I mean, if we're, in this that aren't actually quarantined, to pop out and to do a Zoom showing is something that I've heard, not a Zoom showing, but just kind of connect on FaceTime and show them a place, because there are people that need to move. I just think it's an amazing time to connect with past clients in your sphere and to keep working the leads, because we know this is just temporary. We are going to look back. And hey, I wanted to respond where Glenn is presenting. He's probably in the EXP Explained Auditorium. If you guys go to, a lot of you guys wanted the link. If you go to expcloud.com and look at the education calendar, click on where it says EXP Explained Presentation, and that will tell you each week. Look at Mondays and Wednesdays how you can get guests to go in there. So I just wanted to answer
already in the chat notes.
I did, but it was really messy. I cut and pasted it, but
I don't have my glasses on, so it all looks like Chinese.
It looked like gobbledygook to me, but anyway, hope that helps you guys. So I think working the leads and just, continuing to prepare for an absolute blast off when we get out of this, I think is another, I don't know if that's creative, but it's really just keeping your head in the game and making leads and lead generation and connection with clients more important than ever.
Absolutely.
I think, Brent, one thing that this as a big picture, the thing that we saw coming out of 2010 was that those who had really bared down and kept working instead of giving up, throwing up their hands and not knowing what to do, and giving up hope and all that, because a lot of it, we had people that had their best years during 2008 through 2010, but they had to adjust. Right. And what happened though is as people came through that time, whatever market share they gained in that time, when they came out, they still maintained that distance. Like they still had that huge advantage. So what I would tell you is, if in fact your marketplace is shifting, and I can point right now to Kansas City, or I can point to different places where the market is not down, it's hot, the sellers are selling, buyers are buying. If anything, there's probably not enough homes available for the buyers that are available. But I'm telling you that if it does get down in your area, all you've got to remember is just keep doing the great stuff. Communicate with your existing clients, because the only fallouts that we're having are generally around one of two things. Somebody lost a job. In other words, we're in a transaction, I'm buying a home and I lost my job, or I'm freaked out. And the fear part, we can deal with that, right? We can talk to that. But I think if you wait until they try and cancel and we start talking about it, it's like overcoming an objection after the fact. If you can call them and go, hey, listen, how's it going? How are you feeling? Listen, we've talked to our lender, we've talked to our title people, everybody's in position, things are moving forward. Listen, stuff is happening. There were 325 sales that closed last week, in our town. Hey, there was just make it normal and give them the confidence. Yeah. And let them feel that. And I think right now we need to be the beacons of light that hold them up, because everybody's having their own experience with this. Some are scared to death, some are like, no big deal. Everybody's having their own way with it, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So here's a great chance to work on your database, to work on your business plan, to reset your goals, to really think about why you're doing what you're doing, what you are doing, and developing accountability partners, and putting feet to your dreams and goals and actions. And man, you could literally pound the phones all day today. And there are people that are looking, and they've heard about EXP, and we can help them. So I'm very excited. And Alison, you and Don are amazing leaders. What are some of the things you guys would say to somebody if they're sitting here and they just haven't done it? We got 120 people in here listening today. If somebody's like, they just haven't been able to take the leap of faith and to put action to their goals, and what would you say to them to encourage them to take the step, pick up the phone, start calling people, implementing massive action, as our friend Tony Robbins says? What could they do to help their mindset to really overcome that?
Well, I think there's such an opportunity. I mentioned before, first of all, getting the train out of the station, we were talking about that, is so important. And the ability to connect right now and show somebody they're important. Hey, I was just calling because, whether it's I've seen you online, we've chatted here, we did a closing. How's your business? Just caring about people and that opportunity to show them our culture, almost a glimpse just through getting to know you, and then taking massive action. Because again, I can't tell you how incredible it feels to know that we have residual income, no matter what real estate I close now or in the next 6 months. We've built an organization. That's important. We can't say nothing will ever happen again. We didn't know this was going to freaking happen, right? And we have an opportunity to build a real estate company with great people by helping them now, helping them have opportunity for education, helping them get their business back, or keep their business going through educating themselves and being part of this supportive culture. And I think that, again, I think it's a bigger opportunity than we've ever had.
Absolutely. Dawn, any thoughts on people, trying to jumpstart themselves into activity?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, first of all, I would get into the mindset of it and say, read, be listening to a book on, an Audible, get into something that's going to keep you inspired, because so much of what keeps us in inactivity is our own barriers, our own beliefs, and by the way, our own fears. And so keep yourself at a place where you're like, I would recommend, by the way, shutting off the freaking news. And I know that seems like you're putting your head in the sand, burying it, but we go on and we'll go to YouTube and find the latest presidential announcement and find out what Trump said about COVID-19 today. Listen to that for about 7 minutes, and then we're off to the races. That's all we get. We don't want to know the rest of it. I don't want to live in drama. And I think for everybody, keep your heads above that, and then get into action. Massive action was Jim Rohn's way of saying it, as Tony says now. And I think it's so much. You've got agents out there that are right now feeling a little unemployed. Some of them are feeling very unemployed, and they don't know what to do with themselves. It's a great time for them to move. I talked to one of my guys. You met him last week, Brent. He wasn't going to move for probably 3 or 4 weeks, and that he just maybe this is a great time. I can get my signs figured out and get everything done. It's like, this is a great time. He's on lockdown in his state. And
was that the guy we named Bob for his
that's
yeah,
Bob.
the one named
Bob.
Bob.
I said, way to go. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's not all the way yet, but that's where he was this morning when I talked to him. He's like, yeah, this may be a great time for me just to go.
Let me call him. Send me his number. I'll call him.
Okay, I will. That's perfect. Thanks. I think the other big thing is right now it would be, you're learning from Brent Gove. You're learning from Rick Jihai. You've got some genius people around you. Whoever your influences are, share that stuff. Call an agent and share great stuff. Put a little mastermind together. Keep interacting with realtors. And again, do a happy hour, a virtual happy hour. We're doing one tomorrow night with a whole bunch of top players to extract great ideas. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing in Oregon? What are you doing in North Carolina? What are you doing? And I think we can do a lot of that. But I think the biggest thing is, whether it's clients that we're calling, past clients, current clients settle their nerves. Don't let them even think about falling out. Past clients, how are you doing? Was Bob's job affected by all this? Great. Well, then I hope you're doing well. Listen, if you're ever thinking about selling, now's the best time, because I'm telling you, there is such little inventory and people are buying like crazy. It's like, we just need to have conversations with people, and we've got to get out of our own way, get through our barriers, and get to the other side where there's really, the fun of it is when we start getting the results and we start seeing people being added to our organization, or we get the new listing, get the new sale. Brent, I'm not sure what it's like in Northern California. Certainly these people are all over. I see Tony English, who I know is in Orange County. But listen, in many parts of the country right now, a listing taken is cash in the bank. Let's go get some listings. Let's control the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think logically, we all know this makes sense. We got to do it. I heard someone explain this 30 years ago, and it really impacted me. Logic is like a stick pin. You take a stick pin, and if I were to hold it in my hand and throw it at you, Dawn, it would bounce off your shirt, right? It would just, it's a stick pin. It's got nothing to it. But when you take emotional, you anchor the logic. Okay, I need to do this, and here's why I need to do it at a very deep emotional level. Like that movie, In Pursuit of Happiness, when the guy's in the bathroom locking the door and he's got his child and they're homeless and they're sitting on newspaper because the bathroom floor is nasty, and it gets emotional. He's moved emotionally. Logically, he knows to do it, but I was like, hey, it is all here. I could lose my son. It's emotional. He said, when you take emotion and you tie it into your logical reason for building EXP, it's like adding a telephone pole to the back of that stick pin. And now when I hurl the telephone pole at somebody, bam, it penetrates. And so that's why you've got to have a dream board and a vision board and stare at that when you make your phone calls. And it could be your family and travel or charity or building orphanages in Africa or whatever your reason is, something that moves you emotionally. And then you will go do what you need to do, I think. What do you think, Don Alison? Is that?
I think there's one of our good friends says all the time, he says, hey, the average American will get 4 opportunities in their lifetime. Now, I don't know if you've already wasted your other 3 and this is the last one you've got, or if this is the first one and you don't maybe recognize it, but I'm telling you guys, this is, I talked to Glenn Sanford one day just before he went on stage for one of the conferences, and he quoted me, he said, Don Hobbs said, this is a movement. This is a freaking movement.
Yep.
And you are part of something that's never happened before. And I can't promise you it's ever going to happen again for you. And this is happening. This is happening. We're not questioning it. We're not wondering. We got 28,000 people and growing at 500 plus agents every single week. They're coming. Alison always says, just get in the road and let them come through you. It's like, you got to get out there and make this present. And you know, I think this, you said the other day, Brent, this is your George Washington moment. This is your, Martin Luther King moment. This is like the moment in time when you can stand up and really be counted and absolutely make your future for your family and for you.
Love it.
Somebody just asked how old EXP is. So we're a 10-year-old company, and I say 10 years going on 5. Gene Frederick joined our company 5 years ago. We were, 450 agents when he did, and now we're 28,000. So the big growth has been in about the last 5 years. So hope that helps you guys. That somebody asked that.
Absolutely.
And Brent, listen to Brent, by the way, everybody. You guys have such a chance. I'm humbled that we got a chance to share this with you today. But the fact there's only 122 people, it's like, where is everybody? This guy is, this is our leader too. We had Brent come in and we just did a thing with him in Dallas, and he had a major impact on our people. Like, listen to Brent and what he says. It's just amazing where this man has taken his thoughts and held, so firm. He and James just building something so strong and so smart, guys. Brent, thank you for your leadership. You've transformed. Gene was one part of that. Rob Flick was one part of that. Scott Lewis was one part of that. But I'm telling you, when I look around the company right now, you're the emotional leader that I see. And congratulations to you, and thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. So what does it say? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I think Glenn Sanford, that first 5 years, he went down, not up. He was building the foundation of this company. And it was blood, sweat, toil, and tears, and it was a big deal. And because he laid that foundation, we're able to go to be where we are today. So hats off to him. Hey, real quick, I want to let everyone know that I am doing Zoom and Learns this week. I'm normally in Vacaville, which is the Bay Area town, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. every couple of weeks. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, but virtually. We're sending out Zoom links for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Breakfast will be served. The people who watch the Zoom link from the safety of their home will serve themselves breakfast and watch. And then Daly City, you like that? Daly City is South San Francisco on Wednesday. I'll be there at 12:30 in Roseville Thursday. But they're going to be Zoom links. And I'm going to play the modelexplain.com. Then I'm going to come on afterwards and just talk to 2 or 3 people and answer questions. And there could be 100 people on these things, 200-300 people. The cool thing was when I was in Vacaville, Daly City, and Roseville, I get 30, 40, 50 people coming. Now we can have 300, 400, 500. So the Zoom links posted today by 5 o'clock. They may be there now under BrentGoveResources.com. If you go to my website, then you click on Where's Brent, it'll say tomorrow, 10 a.m. Vacaville. The link's right there. You can send it to your prospects. They just click and watch. The nice thing is everyone knows who's ever seen me do a lunch and learn. I'll talk for an hour, and then this is edited down to 34 minutes. So it's going to be quick. Q&A for 5 or 10 minutes, and we're out of there. And I did this last week in Canton, Ohio, but we did it via Zoom. We had 26 guests, and I heard like everybody was signing up this weekend. They just loved it. And so here's a way for all of you in the audience to be a part of this, US, Canada, Australia, the UK, wherever. Just click on the Zoom link. It's 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, Tuesday, 12:30 Wednesday, 12:30 Thursday Pacific. The link's at BrentGoveResources.com under Where's Brent. So I want to say that. Also, if you look behind you, Dawn and Alison, if you turn around, you can see on the big screens to the right is the Saturday morning webinar 9 a.m. and that'll be up at BrentGoveResources.com. Plus, I know Gene, Rob, and Scott are sending them out to everyone too. We are too. And then over here, if you go this way, you walk down the other end. We got Kyle Whistle, the #1 use of video in the country by Inman News. This is like the Wall Street Journal of real estate. He's going to teach you for an hour how to use video. What's one thing you can do very effectively to reach your buyers and your sellers and to reach agents over the next 2 or 3 weeks while we're sequestered? Video. I've been making them from the golf course. I've been making them from my backyard. You can make short, fun videos. And then, of course, Stacy Onen is going to be talking about EXP, President of Brokerage Operations. She'll be there. And that event is happening April 9th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. That was going to be in Sacramento. We turned it into a virtual event. Everybody can attend now, not just the 600-700 people that would have been there and present. Now we can have 6,000 or 7,000. We have upgraded all of our Zooms to handle up to 10,000. Saturday morning was a bit of a mistake, but pretty cool, huh, Don?
Yeah, we're going to be there for sure. Kyle Wilson's brilliant, and it was one of the tips. If we had more time, I would say to everybody is we should be shooting more video and controlling the conversations that people are having with themselves and with the market and sharing best practices and all that. Shoot video. And Kyle Whistle's the best at it. We'll be on that for sure. Thanks for inviting the world to it now.
Oh yeah, he was so good. And of course, if you haven't heard, shareholders in person has been canceled and replaced with the virtual annual shareholders event virtually. So we're all going to get to be there. We're going to get to hear the speakers. We're going to get to see all the PowerPoints as if we're sitting in the audience, but you don't have to pay for the flight. You don't have to pay for the hotel. You have no meals to pay for and no event ticket to buy for $600-700. So it's going to be completely free. So this may be a silver lining, a blessing in disguise. That sound about right?
Everybody else canceled their conventions. We got ours going on.
Yeah, we've got ours going on. And Brent, you know, there's something that Dawn and I were just talking about. I want you guys to really think about, while all the other brokers are running and hiding and not able to connect and not doing what we're doing with our agents together, us, all of us. And you guys have the opportunity to be their, what do you call, surrogate broker. And meaning the tips that you have that you get in here, don't think about recruiting, think about helping them. Share all the things that you hear in here with people that are not with EXP that you want to attract. Share those things. Hey, I thought this could help you. Just come from a place of helping, which is what we always do. And that's gonna help you. It's gonna help them, and we'll all grow together that way. So be their support,
Beautiful.
be their love.
Alison, thank you. I love that. It's a great way to end this today. Become more valuable than their sales manager. Become more valuable than their broker. Say, stay at Coldwell Banker, stay at Remax, but here. And let me share with you what Kyle Whistle taught me, the #1 guy in America by Inman News, and then share cool tips. And so it's going to be awesome. Dawn and Alison, do you guys have 5 minutes to stick around if we just did some? I mean, the meeting's officially over. We're done. We went a few minutes over here. Do you guys got 5 minutes or do you got to bounce right now?
We got some time. We'll stick around.
So let's all walk up in front of the podium and let's do some Q&A over here with the audience. We're officially done, guys. If you got to bounce, you got to run. But we're going to open it up to, there's a button you can raise your hand and I can call on you. You can unmute your mic. So if you have a question for Dawn or Alison or myself, go ahead and unmute your mic and ask some brave soul. I see a hand up over there. Go ahead. What is your question? My eyes aren't good enough to see.
I think it's Darcy. It might be Darcy.
You gotta unmute your mic on the left-hand corner and ask your question.
You can unmute or you can hold down the number 1 key and it works like a walkie-talkie.
Diana Lamas.
Hey, Diana.
Hey, thank you so much for today. I just, if I had 3 people to ask today, I'd just like just a square out link. Interested in looking at our online platform. What would that link look like?
You mean the link for my Zoom, Zoom and Learn, Breakfast and Learn I'm doing tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.?
Allison mentioned just the whole one that she was using, and your link would be fantastic too.
Are you talking about inviting them into EXP World to take a look at the EXP Explain inside of the EXP World platform?
Yes, whatever you guys do that's effective.
Perfect. Well, that's a little bit of a different conversation. I would say that if you go to expcloud.com, definitely memorize that because that's where the calendar is. expcloud.com, click on EXP Explain Presentation, and that will give you the instructions for inviting a guest into EXP World. I can say that's one way to do it. I would never ever send that link. It's not effective to send that without having a conversation. So it sounds like you did. When did you join us? Recently?
I did. However, I have had conversations and now I want to invite people in.
Awesome.
That's a great place then.
Yeah, Brent, you want to talk about, so I mean, EXP Explained, if you want them to actually download the world and come into Verbella, if you think they're ready for that, then that's awesome. I mean, that's what they were just talking about, Glenn Stanford. Brent was talking about his Zooms. Go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've never ever had a guest go in the world. I'm not a huge proponent of that. I like them. I like to sign them up and then bring them into the world. That's just me. I can't tell you what I haven't done. I haven't done that. I've never ever had anyone go into the world until they were registered with EXP. Not against it. I've just never done it, so I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not opposed to it, but I hope that makes sense. But what I do, you get a simple Zoom link and you just forward it to them. Go click on this tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and turn up your speakers and boom, it's that easy. You just send them the link and the links will be coming out. I think they're already out. Is anybody gone to BrentGoveResources.com and checked while we're here? I'm pretty sure if you click on red, where's Brent? I think Rob Litzinger's listening. I think it's, is it not out
Not
yet?
up yet, he said.
Not up yet. Okay, Rob Litzinger should be on this. And Rob, I think, is typing. Yeah, Rob, when will that be up at BrentGoveResources.com? By 5 o'clock today?
Yeah.
So it should be up by 5. Is that fair to say? Because that's what I've been doing. Okay, so we'll be up by 5, and you'll be able to get the link and then copy it and then just give it to people, Diana, and they can click and watch the EXP Explained. I think that's just the way I prefer to do it. I'm not against it. I think I might have been tripped up over the cartoon thing. So that's for me. I don't like to start with the cartoon avatar thing. I don't. I like to get them excited and then go that way. Just me.
Brent,
Well,
I
Brent,
totally agree with you. I know I announced that meeting as another opportunity. If they're ready, it's a great place to take them in. I would never send them in alone, but I agree with you. It's really not about the avatar. They understand the model before they get in, and then I would have them do a tour with Brent's group or you know, yeah, I agree with you, Brent.
And I will say this, we have 28,000 people. We've had people get recruited that were walking around as guests in the EXP world by somebody else because they hit it off. So it's not necessarily safe. It's like sending your buyer to an open house and you're not with them. I'm just straight up. Just
yeah, that's cool.
We have lost people, so I'm like, when they go in, they're already signed up and have a sponsor. That's rare, but it happens. So, you know, Don, what were you going to say? I kind of.
Hey, Diana. Okay. Diana, I'll just finish by saying I agree with what Brent's saying. And the only time we ever let people in before they've actually signed up is they've already gone through, they're committed, and we might have them at that point take a tour on purpose, like a tour, not just roaming around, a tour to figure out how they see all that stuff. But honestly, I think best bet is get them on the phone or get them on the Zoom with Brent or somebody else that's a leader in your organization that's doing that, and make that their first exposure. And if you can be sitting with them, great. If you can be sitting with them on Zoom, great. Obviously today with social distancing, probably not in person,
Right.
but I would definitely be there at the same time with them. Don't send them somewhere. I'll meet you there. Like, do that, okay?
I see more hands. Go ahead, just speak up.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I see another hand in the back there. Unmute your mic and go ahead and ask your question.
Straight back.
Okay, if they're not going to talk, my hands up.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Kelly out of Nashville. If we have somebody that we feel like would click with getting on a call with Brent, is that okay to do that, or do we need to use our upline?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to do calls. I always tell people, obviously I can't talk to 28,000 people's prospects. So if you have one for me, I'd prefer it wasn't a brand new agent. I'd prefer it wasn't somebody thinking about getting their license. I prefer it's someone who's selling at least 10 homes a year or more, and they really are excited about the idea of revenue share. That's where I come from. I am this meeting is not about selling real estate. It's about building a revenue share sales organization. There's plenty of classes in the cloud about how to sell homes to buyers and sell homes to sellers and do buyer broker and listing presentations and marketing, yada, yada, yada. Love it, important. Everyone says, well, if everybody's recruiting, who's going to sell the homes? The problem is the opposite. Everybody's so busy selling homes to pay their bills, few recruit. And if the people who see it, it's the 80-20 principle. And it's in life, it is fair. You're paid in direct proportions. So did I answer your question, or did I get distracted?
Yeah, Brent, let me help you out on that. Having been here, Gene Frederick's my upline. Brent would take a call. Gene would take a call. You guys, any of the big attraction leaders would take a call with any of you guys. Use them as the big guns because their hours are limited. So, I mean, you want to, use them sparingly, I would say, and use your upline. All of us can get bigger and better together. We're happy to support you. If you want to call me and just talk about who your upline is, I probably know them and I can help match with people that would help you. But, let's let Brent and Gene Frederick and Jay Kinder and, all those guys, really work on the big, huge attraction leaders. Yeah. And I guess, Brent, if that helps you.
I've never said no to anybody. I've never had, but sometimes I've talked to some people. I'm like, oh God, that was 15 minutes. Someone I really shouldn't have been talking to. They just, they're trying to ask me about contracts and using the MLS and how should I sell my first 5 homes? And that's not what I want to do right now. I want to talk to franchise owners, independent brokers, producers, leaders who can really make a difference in your group. And that way I have time for all of you. When you get that person, I can help you. Even if you're not my team, we're in the EXP team, the EXP family, one team, one dream. And because if you do well and you're not in my team, EXP does well. You own stock in EXP World Holdings. I own stock in EXP World Holdings. So we all do it directly and indirectly benefit from each other's success. That has never, ever happened at a real estate company. That is cool.
Ever.
Any other questions?